Coming up next is the Dr. Kim Taylor Show. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you'll receive helpful advice from Dr. Kim, remember this is not to be construed as any form of psychotherapy, diagnosis or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Kim by calling 564-1290 or 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. Now, here's Dr. Kim.
Oh, a chill is in the air. 'Tis the holiday season, and everyone is jolly and bright, spreading good cheer and getting it right. Right? Or did the Grinch steal your Christmas spirit this season, and you're finding it really difficult to beat the holiday blues? Do you know, we all have this image of what the ideal holiday should look like. But we can all be very disappointed when it falls short and basically when reality hits. The truth is that often the holidays can be a whole mixed bag of emotions when families get together. And I don't know about you, but for our family, we kind of set ourselves up with all kinds of expectations and even hoping that some family members will be different this time around, only to be resoundingly disappointed when they show up just the same. So feeling depressed or anxious is not really unusual during the holidays, given the stress, the shopping, and the wishful expectations that we all have. But added on top of that, if you have suffered any kind of loss or you're missing just being together with your family, then the holidays can be downright challenging, stressful, and even lonely. When you come to think about it, the Grinch may have had good reason for being grumpy and blue, trying to anticipate the whole Christmas season. As I was reading about how to survive the holiday blues, I realized that there are many, many lists of all kinds of things of what to do and not do, how to avoid the stress, how to face it straight on, how to decrease your expectations, and how to increase your hopes for a magical Christmas season. But you know, bottom line, the truth is that we can't just follow a step-by-step guide to happiness. There's just too many extenuating circumstances to cover everything for everybody. But what it does come down to is really a very personal thing. Yes, just like the Christmas Grinch, one person's ability to see things differently can make things different. While the holidays can be hectic and challenging for sure, they can also be magical and wonderful. What it comes down to is the secret to your holiday season is in your own ability to change your attitude, to choose to see it through a new filter, one in which you see the good instead of the bad. So the secret to happiness is attitude, and no one can make you change it, because attitude is an inside job. It is choosing to fully empower yourself to choose how you will let life impact you, and if you're going to really allow circumstances that are usually out of your control, by the way, to affect you and to spoil your holiday spirit. So here's my challenge to you this holiday season. First, think about what you do want. Let go of the obligations and the expectations to please others, and just take a couple of deep breaths. And do it until you can feel yourself relax. As your stress level decreases, I want you to take a moment to become aware of what is really important to make the holiday season rewarding to you. And as the Grinch discovered, when you're willing to change your perspective and accept what is, then you can find a way to make it joyful, usually by coming together and helping others in need. And I promise joy will be there waiting for you. It's just a few steps away. So don't let the holidays become something that you dread. Think about what the holidays are truly meant to be about and work with what you do have. Expand your heart and focus on the positive. The Grinch would come to learn that happiness happens when we focus on what is present and not on what is missing. And in the end, the Grinch who stole Christmas discovered that maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas and the holidays perhaps mean a little more. So find your more, and you will find your happiness again. And perhaps you too will grow your heart 3 sizes larger this holiday season.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
As I was preparing for this show, I was looking through a blog called onbeing.com, and I read a poem by Omid Safi. He's the director of the Duke University's Islamic Studies Center, and it's titled Walls Around Hearts. And I wanted to read a part of it because when we're talking about good mental health and the holiday season, it's important to keep in mind that it's the walls we create within ourselves that keep us from feeling loved by others. And it is this that causes us the most problems in our lives, especially around the holiday season. So his words are, there are walls and borders and barriers inside us. So many of us have fronts, masks, barriers, walls to guard the vulnerability of our own hearts. We put the inner core of our heart safely hidden behind these walls, and we think these walls keep us safe. Somehow we haven't learned the walls we hide behind keep us from being loved, keep anyone from reaching us. He goes on to say that, may we see the walls between our hearts come down. May we see the walls between our communities come down. May we see the walls between our nations come down. Somehow we have to give each other the trust that when the walls come down, each wounded soul will be cherished, honored, and loved. We've forgotten about how the most beautiful and powerful people in the world are those who stand there vulnerable, willing to lower their walls, risking enough to be hurt. It's not about the foolishness and being reckless with one's hearts, but with knowing that no one is an island unto themselves. We want not to be hurt. We need to be loved. We cannot be loved from behind walls. So I ask you, how can you open your heart this holiday season and come out from behind your walls and be open to love? We're going to take a call that demonstrates just this effort. Hi, we're on the phone now with Katie. Welcome. How can I help you?
Hi, maybe you can help me. I have applied for a seasonal position, would like to work, but looking more for something permanent. And just don't know if with the holiday stress about taking this seasonal job, which possibly could turn into more, but I'm really stressing out and I don't even have the job. I've been on an interview, but I'm just needing some help figuring it out.
Okay. You mentioned the stress. What is the holiday stress that you're feeling?
It's stressful, it's sad, it's depressed, trying to make the holidays what I see them as.
Okay. Is there something that you are particularly sad about? Did something happen?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, I've been divorced almost 3 years, and during that time, my one son lived with me for a while. He moved out. My daughter moved in, and they had both been out on their own. But I think the reality of just really being on my own, alone at Christmas, and because there's no contact with their father, that I'm the one left to make their Christmas. I choose to make their Christmas really pleasant.
Okay, so it makes you feel like there's really some high expectations for you to make up for the loss of their relationship with their father.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're talking about this job, whether to take it or not take it, is it the right one? Is it what you want to do? Added on top of that, the stress you feel about trying to create this magic at Christmas time. It sounds like a lot of stress and about you trying to figure out how you're going to manage all of this without the others around you.
Yes.
Okay. So part of the answer, Katie, is definitely step by step. What are the parts that you feel that you can manage, that you do want to do, and not go crazy and feel guilty or bad that you can't do everything that you've done in the past?
Well, I just feel that at this particular moment right now, that as much as I want to work, that I would be better off waiting till January to really put my best effort forward in finding a more permanent part-time position than just taking a seasonal position. I just feel stressed about it.
Well, I think that feeling stressed is your intuition, your gut saying that for you right now, that would be taking on too much, that you have plenty to deal with getting through this holiday season, and to do it in a way that you can feel good about it without adding other things to it. And that if we're talking about just 3 or 4 weeks, perhaps after the first of the year, you can then really have some time to think about what is it I would like to be doing and where would I like to be doing it and who would I like to be doing it with.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. It's those little whispers that you hear in the back of your head, and it comes sometimes in the form of self-doubt. Self-doubt is not evidence that you're not good enough. Because what you're doing right now is you're creating a problem based on your self-doubt. Self-doubt is just fear because you want to be good at something, because you don't want to fail. Mm-hmm. But it's not evidence that you're not good enough.
True.
Yeah. So yes, the self-doubt will be there, but understand it for what it is and don't try to create more of a problem based on the feeling of having self-doubt as if you are supposed to be able to reach your goals without having any self-doubt. That's the whole reason why goals are hard to meet, is we have to walk through our feelings, and they're uncomfortable about self-doubt. And when we do that each and every time, that's where we get our real self-esteem. Doing something that scares us, but we do it anyway. Mm-hmm. But you've brought up a lot of things and a lot of things you have to cope with this particular holiday season. And to give yourself a little bit of a break and slowly walk yourself through it is probably what you're needing to do.
Oh, thank you. I think that it makes me feel much better about, and I never really thought this is my first Christmas alone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So to add more than I already feel wouldn't be very healthy for me.
No. But with that, I would also encourage you to be open to change, to know that that is what you're going through right now, that pick some of the old rituals, traditions, things that are special to you, and maybe invite your kids also to participate in what would make Christmas special to them, and be willing to do something new mixed in with a little bit of the old, but don't expect it to be as it was in the past. Doesn't mean it has to be worse. You can actually make it better, but it's time to recreate your life and the Christmases that you would like to have with your kids in a way that makes you feel good.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right, Katie. Thanks for
And
the
Merry
call.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you,
Okay.
too. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Hi, Lynn. This is Dr. Taylor. How can I help you?
Hi, Dr. Taylor. I'm calling because recently I've found myself thinking far too much in sort of fearful ways about loss. And I have experienced loss of family members and friends and loved ones, of course, like anyone, nothing extraordinarily unusual. But it seems to be the older I get, the more, obviously I lose. And I'm turning from a very positive to sort of a pessimistic person because I keep thinking and sort of becoming a little bit fearful. And I don't want to become, afraid to live because I'm afraid of losing more loved ones.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if there's any kind of tool you can suggest that would kind of keep that in mind.
Okay. How old are you, Lynn?
55.
Okay. And is there someone that you are thinking about as you're talking? Is there someone that you're afraid of right now that you're going to lose?
Well, of course I would be afraid of losing my husband. But we both have aging parents, and we're watching them go through health issues and so forth, and that would also be my fear. And I have a sibling who's had some health issues, is doing fine now, but now I find myself thinking consistently about losing him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what do you do in your own life?
I'm pretty active. I've been a student, gone back to school and been a student recently. So
Studying
I'm
what?
around a lot of general courses and a lot of environmental studies.
Okay. And what do you hope to do with those?
I'm hoping to find out something I can do with those, a change, some kind of change.
Okay. And how long have you been going to school?
A little over a year.
Okay. But it sounds like there's something that you're still wanting to do with your own life.
Possibly. I mean, I've worked most of my life, and I've worked hard and accomplished and satisfied with my accomplishments, but I haven't pursued something that I feel passionate about. I just...
Okay. And if you could, what might that be? Mm-hmm. Right
Good
there.
question.
Yeah.
Good question. I would love to. If I was 20 years old, I'd love to get into some kind of environmental study. But at this stage, I don't know that I have what it takes to go the whole educational process and get into something that would really matter to me to make a difference.
Okay, Lynn, but there is a part of you that is wanting more meaning, more purpose in your own life, and is perhaps missing out on something, so that the thought of coming to an end is becoming very frightening to you. You said you have a passion or had a passion. If you were 20 years old, this is what you would be doing.
Right.
I think that if you bring that passion back into your life and start doing things that bring more meaning to you, that make you feel more fulfilled on that level, that you may be less concerned about you said negativity or the thought of losing. Maybe you're losing out. Maybe there's more that you need to be doing.
I think that's an interesting thought, because once I started back at school, and I haven't been in school during the summer, I noticed when I was in school, of course, my mind was active and busy and focused on something, and so I didn't really think about it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a point there. So now that I'm not focused on doing something that matters, I think more about it.
Yeah. And I think it's just a sign that, yes, you've done a lot in your life, but there's still more to come. And
I hope that's true.
And at 55, you're still young.
Yeah.
So maybe to focus more on what you can do to bring that meaning and to live that passion so that you are using your life the way that you would like, so it doesn't feel wasted and it doesn't feel like you've lost out.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So,
well, thank you.
Okay, you have your work cut out for you.
Yes. I think what I'll do is just keep going and taking classes and hope that I can really connect with something in particular.
Okay. Just follow the passion. You will be led the rest of the way.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
I sure hope that you're all getting into the holiday spirit. One of the questions that I often get asked around this time of year about the holidays is, how can someone be happy and in a festive mood when they're suffering a loss or even a recent divorce, or they're grieving the death of a loved one? Well, I can tell you from personal experience that it can be really hard. Recently, I lost my father at Christmas time. Another year, it was a beloved family pet. And then another year, it was my husband's best friend, all at Christmas time. So no, when we are suffering a loss or someone has died, we cannot just force ourselves to be happy when we're not. And in fact, it's normal to feel sadness and to grieve and to be in the mourning process. But what I have learned is that it's only a part of the experience, and that by joining in and rejoicing in life and the wonder of the Christmas magic, that it can help to restore us and help to move us forward, where we can remember our loved ones with a heart that's filled with gratitude and the ability to embrace the blessings. Gratitude that they were in my life and blessed that they loved me. But the truth is, if I were to close my heart out of sorrow, I would never feel their love again. I'm someone who truly believes that we need to find a way to stay open to love, no matter how many times we have been hurt. And even if doing so causes some pain. Because after all, it should be painful when we lose someone that we have loved, because they mattered. And so we have to feel the pain. What I can tell you is that one of the things that my family does now is at Christmas time, we still honor our father by buying a box of See's candy. Yes, this was one of the things that we did in our family, because our father loved his sweets. Now, this was a man who never gained a pound. You had to love him for it. But as the story goes, he loved his sweets, and See's peanut brittle candy was one of his favorites. So every year, he would get boxes of See's candy. But he would never share it with us. He would never open up one of those boxes and pass it around and share it with us, because he knew, of course, that it would be completely demolished. So he saved them for when he was watching his beloved football games. So today what we do is buy that box of candy, but now we open it up and share it at Christmas time. We celebrate our Father knowing that today He is sharing because He is still with us in our hearts and in our minds. The point is, we have a choice. We can shut down when life gets painful and we can suffer great losses. Or we can find a way out of the sorrow and back into the love. I choose love. I'm going to read an email that has just come in. It's from Ed, and Ed says, "Dear Dr. Kim, I am 31 years old, and I feel like I have lost my motivation in my life. I am just settling for an okay job, but nothing that makes me feel excited and passionate to get up in the morning. So actually, sometimes I'm late for work, and now I'm being told that I need to be more productive at work unless I want to be fired. What gets me angry is that my parents always say, "I told you so," and are never very supportive. I know they love me and are just trying to help, but no matter what I do, I feel it will never be enough for them anyway. I know I need to change, but I don't know what to do to be more excited and productive in my life. I don't know if you can help. I didn't really want to call in, but I could use some direction. What do you think I should do? Ed. Well, Ed, I do wish that you had actually called in, but let me take a stab at this, and maybe someday you will call and we can even move this a step forward. First of all, from what you've said, my sense is that your parents are the kind of people who are not very affectionate and encouraging. They may not be cruel, but they're just not very nurturing and accepting. The problem is it seems that your response to all of this and what the impact was on you is that you believe that it meant that you were not enough, and therefore you can't feel good about yourself. So here you are at 31 years old, and you find yourself acting that belief out by being less than in everything you do. No wonder you are losing motivation, because the message that you give to yourself now is, no matter what I do, it will never be enough, so why bother? Sounds like to me that you're still seeking your parents' approval. But your lesson here is to see that they have never been approving people. Not because you were not good enough, but because they were inadequate in some way. And quite possibly your parents probably couldn't fully express their love to you because they did not fully love themselves. But that was their issue, not yours. And in fact, bottom line here is that they were not enough for you. So what you need to do here is you need to forgive them so that you can move on into your own life and to grow from here so that you can build a life from your own merit, that you have to encourage yourself and reward yourself for good behavior so that you can respect yourself and love yourself by being proud of the work that you do and to value yourself. What you need to do here is own your own self-esteem and start to work and make yourself proud. And most of all, stop waiting for others to change. Hope that helps. And if you want to talk, by all means, just give me a call here. And if anybody else wants to call up, you can reach me by calling 564-1290, or the toll-free number is 866-564-1290. So I have one more email that has come in. Let's go through that. It's from John, and it says, "My wife died 3 years ago, and since that time, my grown children do not want to see me or spend the holidays with me. They have their own families, and they don't even seem to go out of their way to include me. I feel hurt and mostly angry, so I avoid them the rest of the year too. Don't you think that children should spend time with their parents? And what do you think I should tell them the next time they come knocking? Not looking forward to the holidays, John." Well, John, it seems to me that maybe your wife did all the work in the relationship with your children, and now that she's not around, that you are left not knowing what to do, and it's making you feel very lonely. And really, it sounds a little sorry for yourself. So what I would suggest that you do is to call up your kids, invite them out. Have them go out to dinner and start to show some interest in their lives and their families. If I were to try to help you to move forward here, what I would say is that you need to look to yourself and ask, what kind of a father are you? How involved are you? And how can you be a better father and grandfather now? Because your wife probably did most of the work, and you got to have a relationship with them based on the work that she put in. So the truth is that you're expecting them to reach out to you, but you're not giving anything to the relationship. And now that your wife is no longer there to really make that bond and to build the connections, you're going to have to be willing to do some of this work by giving more without expecting anything back. You're feeling empty here because you don't give anything to other people. So step up, fill the void that your wife has left, and you will be able to build a relationship worth having and be a person that people do want to be around. I hope that helps for you to make it a better holiday season. We're going to take a quick break right now, and I'll be right back after this short message.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
I wanted to share a few books that I love to give as gifts. The first one is Finding Your Strength in Difficult Times. It's by David Viscott, a favorite of mine. And this is a book that's filled with practical insights and affirmations to get you through anything that you're dealing with in your own life. It's just one of those books that you can open up to any page and gain some insight and food for thought. So it's a great gift to give. The second book is The Book of Awakening, and this is by Mark Nepo, N-E-P-O. This is a daily book of inspirations, and it's one that I really love because I like his perspective and his gentle way of teaching how to be open to your own life. And you can use this on a daily basis and start it at the first of the year even and go through each day with him, and you'll always find something to think about for that particular day. The third book that I like to give, and I like to give this one to women, it's called Gift from the Sea. It's by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. And this is a must-read for every woman, and it's timeless. I read this book years and years ago, but I still have it by my bedside, and I reread it often. This author really writes about finding peace within herself and living in a state of grace as much of the time as possible. It is a book about her journey and going away from family and children for a while to really go within and to reflect and to learn things about herself that she could bring back that would enrich her life. It is a great read, and once more, it is great for all the girlfriends out there. It is something that I think we all should know and we all should read. The fourth one is called Simple Truths, and it's by Kent Nerburn, N-E-R-B-U-R-N. This is a book that I like to give to young people because it has messages that are just really short and sweet. They're wisely expressed, and they are principles to live by. So it's a great book to give to all those young folk in your life. So I hope that helps with gift giving. I know I just heard on the news that giving books for Christmas was really bottom of the list of things that people want, but I don't think that's true. I think that when you give a book from the heart that has meant something to you and you share that with someone, I think it's one of the greatest gifts that you can give, and I certainly like to give books. So there's the list. Hope it helps. So, Mark, let's go to the next call. I think it's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. How can I help you?
Hi, Dr. Taylor. I have a problem. I'm taking care of my grandmother, and she's really depressed during the holiday seasons. She used to have these big parties, and all the family would come over, and now it's just her and I. The family has, moved away, and I just don't know how to get her through all the blues and all the depression she's going through.
Okay. Is there any part of Christmas that she actually does like and can still do?
Well, there are things that she likes, but she's so depressed she won't get out. She's not as healthy as she used to be, so she just says it's too painful, and it's too much work to go anywhere. So, it kind of takes away going and looking at the lights or, visiting other people. And she really, and all the family doesn't come see her, which depresses her even more.
Okay. I think what you are saying here is what happens to a lot of people that when they get older and their kids move away or their family is not as present for them. So since you are the one there, a lot of this is going to be left to you. But there is still a lot that you can do to kind of get her in the mood and have some of the things that she still likes about Christmas present for her. Like, for instance, just listening to Christmas carols, or taking a moment to have a tree and to decorate it, sitting around maybe having a cup of cocoa and talking about Christmas past. But the point is to make it what it can be while remembering perhaps what it was, but with fond memories rather than with grief.
Oh, okay. I haven't done anything yet because it just seemed like it was making her sadder, but I think I'll do those things. Make a small festivity in her household.
Yes, and I think it's very easy to kind of go with the negative aspect of it. And once you kind of go down that road, you keep going down that road. But if you were to come in and just create Christmas, and Christmas is really the spirit of Christmas, and there are parts of it that you can probably still do. And once she gets into that, and knows that, she can still participate in that. She might even want to get in the car and go out and see the Christmas lights because you could get excited about that and say, hey, I found this great street or this great house. Let's go and see it. So there are small things that I think that you could do that are probably going to help to lift her mood.
Okay, I'll try that. Those are good suggestions. Thank you.
Okay. Do you feel like she is depressed besides the holiday, or do you think it is because of the holiday and the loss of what once was?
I think it's both. I think she is depressed just because of her condition and her change in her life, and then the holidays are just magnifying it.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way that you can also get on the phone to other family members and, tell them that Grandma is kind of depressed, and to get a call from you would be really great? She'd really look forward to that.
I could do that. I can do that. I can reach out to them.
I think it just makes it worse when they feel like no one is reaching out, that everyone has left them and they're there all by themselves.
Okay, well, I'll try that. We got 6 weeks to try to bring the spirit back into the household, and hopefully that'll kind of make her happier.
Mm-hmm. Just those small things, and there's nothing like a little Christmas music that doesn't lift our spirits, and the smell of pine trees and small things, Christmas cookies, cocoa, things like that we can sit around and talk and share with those that are present.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, Tracy. Have a happy holiday.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You are listening to Dr. Kim Taylor on KZSB AM 1290.
I wanted to answer the question, why do I say at the end of every program, nobody else has to change in order for you to get better? Well, believe it or not, change is the hardest thing we do as human beings. And in fact, we'll go to great lengths not to change, because to change means risking and going into the unknown. So most often we would rather stay in something familiar, even if it's uncomfortable, instead of moving into the new and facing our fears. So here is what most often happens. We go to Plan B. And Plan B is we try to get others to change so that we don't have to. But therein lies the problem, because it becomes the hill we die on as we dig in our heels and wait for someone else to change in order for us to feel better. You've probably heard it. Oh, heck, you've probably even said it yourself. Why do I have to change if they won't? Or, why do I have to change first? Do you know, I've always worked to help people move from feeling victimized to a place of taking personal responsibility and really learning how to empower themselves in such a way that nobody can have the final say in how they will think and feel about themselves or in keeping them from their stated goals. It was Viktor Frankel, who was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who suffered unimaginable indignities as a prisoner during the Holocaust. But he was somehow able to save himself by not allowing his captors to strip away his dignity, or his soul for that matter. He decided that while he may not control what was happening to him, he could control how he chose to respond to it. And that is what he did. So the power of the human spirit is what moves me. And so I teach. Nobody has to change in order for you to get better. Because when you do the work and learn how to change yourself so that you can act and respond in a way that makes you proud, nobody can take it away from you. And here's the hidden secret. When you change first, others just have to change in response to your change. So taking personal responsibility to change what you do not like and letting go of waiting for others to change first will change your life in all kinds of positive ways. The bottom line is, if we want to change things, we must first be willing to look within and change ourselves. I want to wish you all a very happy season during the holidays, and I really hope that you get everything that you want and deserve. Hopefully you are learning that happiness is an inside job. So choose and choose wisely. Your happiness and even your life depends on it. I welcome any comments that you have or questions. You can email me at Dr. Kim at Dr. Kim Taylor Show. If you want to listen to any of the past shows, you can now find them as a podcast on iTunes. So just check it out. Go to iTunes, look under the title, The Dr. Kim Taylor Show, and click on the podcast. Also, my show can now be heard again on the rebroadcast here on KZSB, AM 1290, Thursday evenings at 10 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. I want to thank Mark Giles, my new engineer. He's been here since moving to this new time slot, and I'm very happy to have him and have him on the controls. I hope that you will join me again next Thursday afternoon, again live at 5. In fact, every Thursday afternoon, this is where I will be ready to take your calls. So put it in your calendar, tell your friends about it, and while you're at it, make some notes about what you would like to talk about, and then give me a call next Thursday afternoon, right here, live at 5. So take a few moments in your day to breathe and really be thankful for what is good in your life this holiday season. I'm Dr. Kim Taylor, and remember, nobody else has to change in order for you to get better. Happy holidays.